Hello guys, once again welcome back to another Android application development tutorial. In the last episode we already learned about how to create a recycler view with images and text on it. In this video we are going to learn about how to handle click events of a recycler view. So here I am going to use the same example used in the previous video. So now when user click any of this image, we have to show the image on a large image view. So here I am going to create a separate activity for display the large image. So now go back to the Android Studio project. Now I close all the files. So here I am going to use a separate activity for display the large image. So create a new activity. I don't need a basic activity, we need an empty activity. So new activity, empty activity. So here I name it as display activity. So we are going to display the large image on this activity. So we need to add a image view to the layout file. So here the root element is a constrained layout. I change that one into a relative layout. So here I am going to add an image view with this much parent. I am going to use a height of 450 dp. Align center in parent. Center in parent into true. For testing purpose, we can just add an image into it. So select an image from the drawable folder. Set some margin. I set the padding into 5 dp. Now specify an ID for it. I name it as album display. Okay, so when user click any of this image, we have to start this activity. So I just remove the src attribute, no need of that one. Okay, so now go back to the recycler adapter. So here each of these item is an object of view holder. So here the logic is that we have to create a click listener for the view holder object. So here is our view holder class. This is the view holder class. So here I am going to implement an interface called onClickListener. So we need to implement a method called onClick. So here we have a view parameter in the constructor. So now here I am going to set the click listener for the view parameter. Set onClickListener into this. So now when user click any of this image, we get that click event within this method called onClick. So from this method we have to start the next activity. Before going to do that, here we need some parameter. For start a new activity, we need some parameter of a context, and within the constructor of this class, here also I need some parameter of context. So we can initialize that context variable from here. Now go to the view holder class. This is the constructor of view holder. Here also I need some parameter. First one is a context, and second one is a list, an integer array. Called images. Okay, so now from the on create view holder we have to pass that parameter second parameter is the context, and last parameter is the integer array called images. Okay, so when user click any of the image, we have to start the next activity. So also we have to pass the image position, the image ID to that activity. First we can create the indent object, new indent. First parameter is the context. Before going to create the indent, we have to create some context here. Here also I create an integer array called images. Now we can initialize that variables from the constructor. This dot context is equal to context, and this dot images is equal to images. Okay, so now we can create the indent. First parameter is the context. Now specify the target activity class name. Here it is display activity. So now we need to pass the selected image ID to the next activity. So indent dot put extra. I specify the key as image ID. Now specify the indent. So you can get it from the images array. Now get the current position. For that you can call this method called get adapter position. It will return the selected item position. So now the indent is ready. Now we can start the next activity. So use the context dot start activity and pass the indent. So this will start the next activity. Now go back to the display activity. Here we have to create some image view object. Now we can initialize that image view. It is album display. Okay, now we can set the image ID on the image view. So image view dot set image resource. First get the indent, get indent dot get int extra. So here the ID is image ID. So we can check it inside the adapter. It is image ID. Okay, here you have to specify a default value for the image ID. Here I simply pass 0 for it. Okay, so now we can test our application. So I run the application. Okay, we have some error inside main activity. So here you have to pass the context. Okay, now run again. So now the application available on this virtual device. So I click one image, that image available on the next activity. Now I try to open another image. So this is how we handle click events of items on a recycler view. I hope you understand the concepts. For getting more Android tutorial updates, please subscribe this channel now. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.